The NHS is collapsing. Schooling, there are no places. Disposable income is going down. What are we getting benefiting from all of these people?
Schools have been sending letters home saying that there's young men hanging around school gates to beware.
Send them back! Send them back! Send them back!
So my daughter was attacked in a shopping centre and they're trying to tell me there's no footage.
We're talking about the illegal migrant, but we ignore the mass migration through legally as well. We have a population that's continuing to expand by 1 million people a year.
Heverin reporting for Fox Populi here in Altrincham, outside the Crest Hotel. In 2004, Jean-Marie Le Pen hosted a talk here warning people about uncontrolled mass migration into Europe. 2 decades later, this very hotel would be used to house illegal immigrants. Now, people are gathered here today to rightfully protest the placement of this hotel, which is in between 2 primary schools. And since then, schools have put out reports warning parents that their children are being encouraged by these migrant men to be lured into taxis. There's been attempted abductions and they've been sexually harassed. Now, to my left here is Stand Up Against Racism, who believe that if you protest about this and you're against illegal migration, that makes you a racist, without realizing that the children in this town are being sexually harassed. Well, I would rather be called a racist and extremist and have all these labels put on me than be against the injustice of children and women being sexually harassed and raped. So, what brings you here today?
I want to show support for the Altrincham locals. I've been coming since January when it was much smaller than this, but there's nothing like this in my hometown. So when I heard these guys were doing it, I thought I'd come and show them some support.
Is your hometown also suffering from the same problem?
Yeah, pretty largely. And certainly over the last 5 years, maybe.
How's it changed in the last 5 years?
Just the demographics, essentially. When you walk to the shops, sometimes you're hearing a dozen different languages, just walking to the shops. You're seeing gangs of what I can only assume are relatively freshly arrived migrant men standing around. Lots of Turkish Berbers turning up in the town. Lots of Turkish Berbers. Lots of takeaways. It's definitely a noticeable change. Community cohesion's definitely been affected as well.
Hi, can you tell us a little bit about your sign here?
Okay, my daughter was 12 years old. She was in the local area of Wivenshaw. She was set upon by a female, and I say female, obviously there's a lot going on with male immigrants at the moment, but this was definitely a woman. She attacked my daughter, pulled her, grabbed her hair, pulled her from behind to the floor, and then started stamping all over her head. Greater Manchester's police were called immediately. Didn't act on it fast enough. I kept telling them where the hotel was the woman was staying in at Manchester Airport, and they wouldn't go. They kept saying, oh, we've got to find the footage. So my daughter was attacked in a shopping centre and they're trying to tell me there's no footage.
So what's your name?
Angela.
And where are you from originally?
I'm from Altrincham, Timpley, just 5-10 minutes down the road.
And what's brought you here today?
Because I'm genuinely concerned regarding the people in the hotel, all men that have been moved into the hotel. They're not children, they're not women and children, and not vetted, no checks on them. So a lot of local people are just concerned for the safety of their children. I've got a daughter, and I warn her not to go out now at night on her own because it just genuinely concerns me.
So this hotel's been here for quite a while. I've actually been in this hotel before. So about last November, they decided to move in a group of over 100 military-aged men, and they kicked out everyone that had a booking, and they moved them in against the wishes of the local people. Now, we used to have a Conservative local MP, and we got a Labour one at the last election, and they used that as their way to put forward this notion of an illegal hotel, and the locals since then, we've not liked it.
What do you think these Turkish barbers are being used for?
Well, I think the suspicion is that it's something to do with money laundering for drug dealing gangs. I can't say that with any authority, but that's certainly the suspicion.
When there's 10 of them on the street.
When I walk past these Turkish barber shops, there's hardly ever even a single person in them. So they don't seem to be getting any business. But then outside of the Turkish barbers, I'll regularly see very expensive, nice looking cars. How are you affording this kind of lifestyle with no customers?
Yeah. And what's the condition of your daughter?
To be fair, this was 2 years ago. I'm still fighting this now. They will not give me the information that I want. They will not go for the arrest.
No.
This was the 5th of June 2023. This happened.
And if you could send out a message to the government in relation to your daughter and what happened to her, what would you say?
Help protect our children. You know, women are just as bad as the men. The criminals that are in this country, we've got enough of our own. We don't need any more. Send them home. You know, fast track the applications. The criminals kick out first. Send them back. No one's got a problem with the real immigrants, the refugees that need to be here. And if we had space for them, we'll take them all. But the ones that are coming over aren't that. They are not that. They're not refugees.
Because my concern about this hotel is it's placed between 2 schools.
Exactly, surrounded by schools, primary and secondary schools,
Has there,
close by.
has there been reports by locals of the children being harassed?
I personally haven't heard anything, but what I do know is that schools have been sending letters home saying that there's young men hanging around school gates to be wary and, you know, keep a close eye on your children. They won't say any more than that, but it does make you wonder. It's only since the Crest has been used for illegal immigrants.
And what's the sentiment in the town been like? Are people against this hotel here?
Yeah, I mean, these people, they go around in the centre of town, they walk around in like a little gang, like a little group. They're not integrating into society, and this is the issue. These people never integrate. They sit around in their little enclaves, and they have their own little segregated forms of civilization, and they don't join British society, and we don't want them here, frankly.
Because the main problem with this hotel as well is it's been placed between 2 schools. And I've heard reports of school children being harassed.
Well, yeah, we continue to see that. Even in Wilmslow the other day, a 10-year-old girl was the victim of an attempted kidnapping by an illegal migrant. We're sick of it. Every single day you read the news. This girl's been raped, this girl's been kidnapped, X, Y, and Z. We're sick of it. We don't want it anymore. These people are not benefiting us. We have far too many people. 90% of all the people coming over on the boat are military-aged men from 18 to 36. 90%. They're not here because they actually need the help. They're not here because they're refugees. They're here because they want our economy, they want our society, and they are taking the absolute mick out of us.
I believe they moved all these guys in November. The locals had a meeting with the council, voiced their objections, and they moved them in anyway. So there's a lady called Louise, I think it's Louise Holbrook. She's the one who started it, her and a couple of the local mothers and grandmothers. And it's just grown organically into this. What I have noticed is that every time I'm here, the people in the hotel tend to be at the windows, gesturing at us, let's say.
What type of gestures?
Rude gestures, insulting gestures, antagonising gestures.
Like saying, haha, we're leeching off your country and we're harassing your children.
Yeah, it's usually just a finger or a handshake kind of thing, but they're obviously trying to rub it in our faces a little bit. Yeah.
And what's the atmosphere of the town? Are locals concerned about this hotel being here?
Yeah, I think the turnout here today shows you that there's massive concern. A lot of these, as far as I know, probably everybody here are local. I know a lot of people myself personally, so it's mostly, most people are concerned.
We're talking about the illegal migrants, but we ignore the mass migration through legally as well. We have a population that's continuing to expand by 1 million people a year. Last year, we saw 440,000 net migrants into this country. How many more people can we take? Every time we decide to fill up this country with more people, the housing market is saturated. We need houses. We have no infrastructure. The NHS is collapsing. Schooling, there are no places. Disposable income is going down. GDP is going down. What are we getting benefiting from all of these people? They're bringing foreign cultures. They're bringing foreign religion. They are bringing crime, if people want to admit it or not. It's dangerous and it's hurting us.
So the ladies who started this protest, what do they have to say? Are they scared about their children and the girls? Because this hotel's placed between two schools,
Yeah.
and there's been letters sent out warning parents.
Yeah, so from what I understand from talking to the ladies who've organised it, they've all got children or grandchildren who are of a vulnerable age. And they're telling me exactly that before this happened, the kids were quite comfortable walking home after school, whereas now the children are being told, so I'm told, by the school to walk home in groups, to dress appropriately. So yeah, they've seen it firsthand, straight from day one. They're catching sight of them leering at the kids. They apparently regularly see them in the local shops and supermarkets, stealing or just hanging around. Very concerning from what they tell me, very concerning.
Do you think there's a quiet minority that hasn't come out today that's equally as sick
There will
of this
be
hotel?
some. I see it on Facebook. There's some that are quite happy to support them and, you know, don't see any wrong in them being there. I mean, this particular hotel was a well-used hotel by locals. We've all used it over the years. We've been to christenings, weddings, charity functions. I believe everything just got cancelled. They were moved in overnight in the dark. We weren't, you know, informed, or it wasn't up for discussion. It just happened. So.
Nobody wants to have kids in a society where there's a very high chance they're going to be raped or they're going to be attacked or assaulted on the street. Why would we want that? Our streets aren't safe anymore. If people want to admit it or not, foreign nationals are 71% more likely to be convicted of a sex crime than a British national. 66 different nationalities are more dangerous violent crime rates than a British national. Why are we importing that issue? We should not be.
And how has the town changed since November? Is there a noticeable difference?
I can't really comment on that because I generally don't go out really at night anymore at my age. You know, if I did, I certainly wouldn't go out on my own.
But it feels a lot.
People say that they're around Altrincham a lot, but I mean, you do get people saying things like that, so I can't comment on that one really.
But it feels a lot unsafer now around the town.
I wouldn't feel safe now, no, I definitely wouldn't.
So since you're locally from Manchester, in your life, how have you seen this city change?
Well, people are just horrible now. They don't get on. You can't walk through the streets alone anymore. It's just a danger zone. I know somebody very personally to me that was robbed at knife point the other month, had his phone taken off him early hours in the morning by a migrant. And this is just something that we continue to see happening. We have Fallowfield, nobody in Fallowfield integrates, and nicely it's a hellhole. It's like a third world country itself. They segregate themselves in these areas. They're bringing their religious indoctrination here as well. We don't want Islam. Islam is not a British standpoint. We're stood next to a Saint Church of England, St George's Church of England. That is British culture. That is the foundation we're built on. We don't want Islam. We don't want your cultural values where you can marry kids and you think that women are objects with your 7 wives to go to Nana land with 72 virgins. We don't want it. We want British culture, British heritage. The British native is being absolutely wiped out. We are losing the white British native to this land. And I think it's a shame, and frankly it's disgusting, that our ancestors died, their blood and their bone went into building this nation, and we're losing it to people that think they can get a quick little boat over, or they can get a £35 jet to and then ignore their visa and stay here, or the government allows these people in with horrible trade deals which saturate the British business and the British market for the benefit of multinational corporations that frankly are taking the mick out of us. No wonder everyone's getting poorer, no wonder poverty is out of control, no wonder everyone is getting sick of it.